Welcome everyone to this edition of the live broadcast here.
Q&A.
A little Q&A with Tracy.
What do you think of this?
What do you think? Oh, hey, let me tell you about my new hat.
I just
got to
poked
tell you about
in
my
the
new
eye.
hat.
I'm sorry.
Yesterday, Snap-on Man got me a hat. Love this hat.
Didn't he invite you into his truck?
Okay. Yeah. Got to go in the truck, check it all out. Yeah, I was good though.
You only got a hat.
Yeah, I
That's
only got a
good.
hat. That was good. I behaved myself.
'Cause
So,
they have a lot in those trucks,
a lot of goodies. A lot of expensive goodies.
don't they?
Keith.
Yeah.
Been in the Snap-on
No.
van?
They don't have motorcycle specific tools. I don't buy them.
Right.
Oh.
He's not into 'em.
They tempt you with stuff.
No, they're nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, their stuff's good.
So I got a feeling this is a long-time listener, first-time caller, okay? And I
Is he
believe
a first-time caller?
he's a first-time caller. I know that guy.
Are you a first-time caller?
And he.
I am a first-time caller to the Schuler Show.
Oh.
Schuler? Who the heck's Schuler?
Well, he's close. Schooler,
the
Schuler, it's all
Schulers?
same.
Schuler.
Schoolers.
Hey, what's up today? How can we help?
Well, hey, I couldn't hear you, so I thought, well, I'm just going to call in. I'm on the road. I've got my bride with me beside me in the car. We're driving around. And, I've gotten to know both of you very well, and you're great friends, but I just wonder, Tracy, what's your hobby? I know you're like some golf savant, but what
Right.
else do you do besides golf? You got to have other things, man.
No, I do enjoy playing a little golf in the evening, when I do get home, but other than that, I really don't have much of a hobby. It's not like, I like to collect things, or hey, I like to go to a concert, or I like to go square dancing. None of that. I don't care for any of that stuff. I just love what I do. I
you know
just love
what?
building Hondas.
We used to have hobbies before mini bikes came along.
Well, I can believe that. I think he's a 7-day-a-week guy at the shop, too.
He is. Yeah, we used to do all kinds of fun stuff. And now we do nothing. We act like we're old.
Right?
But square dancing, I don't
Yeah.
know about all that either.
Well, it'd be good exercise, though.
Yeah. Hey, caller, can I ask you a question? Is that okay if I can ask you a question, caller?
You sure can.
Yeah. Where do you hail from?
I am from Centralia, Illinois, beautiful southern Illinois.
Right.
60 miles straight east of St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow. Okay. And like down there, what's that area noted for? I mean, is it great mushroom hunting? Is it great deer hunting? What's that area noted for?
Well, in the area I'm in, it's almost like Trophy Triangle, where they have some of the largest white-tailed deer in this area.
Oh, really?
You're right. Yep, you're right. We do grow some big mushrooms down here. The big morels, they'll get as big as someone's fist.
Right. That's what I heard.
Yep. And I don't eat them. I don't hunt them. I tried hunting. I don't have enough patience for it.
Right.
Yeah, I want to really thank you guys for what you do. For the mini bike community, the motorcycle community, the collectors. You share a lot. Your forum's great, and it's something you wouldn't have to do, but it truly shows you're good people. That's just fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
So,
Long-time listener, first-time caller?
yep.
Okay.
Central Illinois,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So, like before the show started, did you have some people like they maybe texted you some questions? Did they email questions? How did the questions arrive for today's show?
Well, the original post was put all over social media, so we had questions coming in from all over.
Gotcha.
So I actually wrote them down. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to see them because I'm not allowed to wear my glasses because I become a big glare like the sunshine. So let me see if I can read them.
Let's go.
Okay, so Sammy Lee, he's out in California. He he has a couple of beautiful bikes in his
For sure.
garage.
Yeah,
And that car.
great guy,
The
individual.
car. What kind of car was that, Lucas?
McLaren.
McLaren.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, a McLaren. He wants to know, what do you restore the most of? CT70, Z50, or SL70?
So we actually restore more CT70s than anything, and then second, we do Z50 hardtails between 68 and 71. And then third, we would do the SL70. We introduced it last year in January and had a good year, good starter year with it. And so that would be number 3 in line. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are we adding in
Yeah.
more bikes?
Yep.
And specifically the XR75.
Right. So here's the deal. So January of this year, we have, and you really haven't, I don't think, seen any of the posts yet on it, but we are adding the MR50 Elsinore, called the Mini Elsinore. Cute little bike,
My
little
first bike.
motocross bike.
My very
Happens
first-
to be
yeah.
Kelly's very first bike. Okay. And so we're going to restore those. We've got started with 6. I will tell you that much. You will see them coming out in the Mecum auctions. There will be some that's already forecasted for the Mecum auctions as well.
Which Mecum?
Indianapolis for one,
Which
and
is-
probably Harrisburg in
When?
May.
In May.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania. So, and then we're going to try to get some done up where we have those available for people who just call in and want one. So that's kind of over the next couple weeks, not really top priority, but definitely in there in the mix to get done, get finished, and get put up on the show counter. And the big thing is, yes, I've been asked about the XR75. My goal is to try to get through this year and probably not start the 75. I'd like to see what the MR does and what kind of demand we have for that. And then I definitely would like to add the XR75 by January 22. So that's kind of where we're at there. I don't know, I just feel like that, yeah, there is a calling for it and demand for it. I just don't hear a lot about it.
Are you going to be adding the SL70K1 to the mix?
Yeah, I don't really, I mean, I would probably do that or call that a one-off, and I would probably do it if somebody would twist my arm enough. I don't see a lot of demand for them. Matter of fact, I can tell you back 2.5 years, I have had one call for it. I did it for the guy, and but that's been it since. I've not been asked to do just the one.
Okay. Well, there you go. Because he thought maybe there was not enough demand.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that was his question. Okay, so you might have to preface this next name.
All right.
Jeff Muffler.
Yes, Mr. Wagenhauser.
Can a 1985 ATC 70 crankshaft be used on a 1970 CT70H motor?
Yeah. So the answer to that is I wouldn't have known it if it wasn't for him, but he's an ATC guy, okay? I'm not big into the ATCs, okay?
say no.
So therefore, I'm not sure what will interchange, what won't. To be honest with you, the answer to that question is yes, it will work. They're the same size, but he is very good about breaking that ATC motor down and seeing what crosses in with the H model or the 3 speeds, and yes, it will work. So at times Honda was a magician really about making things work for different parts or different models, I should say. So they not only just stuck with one thing, as they're mass producing parts, it went in more than just one.
All right, so I think what we're gonna do on this next question is, because it's probably the question that everybody and their brother is asking, because the market for these bikes has gone bananas. Agree?
True. Yeah, very much so. Even in the last 6 months, it's
Yeah.
it's crazier than it even was a year ago.
I know.
You
It's
know, and then
insane.
a year ago it was crazier than it was. You know.
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
So I think what we'll do is, since Keith is here and he knows the market too, we'll have Tracy and Keith sit down here and talk about this, but the next question comes from Bill Peterson, and we like him. So he's realizing, as well as everybody else in the market, that these little mini bikes have taken off. The market is huge.
Sure.
So he's saying, what's the cap? What's it going to be like in 5 years from now? What's the ceiling? What do you think?
Well, I get asked this question a lot, and I think, 2 shows ago, I think we were talking about the same thing. But so let me kind of run through some numbers for you. Let's put this thing in perspective. Okay, so in 1968, let's pick on the Z50 to start with. In 1968, there were approximately 20,000 of these little Z50s produced. In 1979 and 69 and 70, the K1s, there were near 150,000 produced. In 1971, the K2, there were 117,000 bikes imported from Japan to the United States. So just the Z50 numbers alone is just under 300,000 bikes, right? Well, I don't know about Keith. I get it. He's good. He's bionic, and I think he's the world's best. But you got to understand, we're only doing around 200 to 300 bikes a year. So I mean, in the big scheme of things, when you're talking about 300,000 bikes and you're only doing 200 or 300 a year, I'm not going to live long enough to do the bikes that are already produced and is already over here, right? Yeah. I mean, I understand. Probably if we were to put numbers or put percentages on it, that in the landfill, 40% of these bikes today are already in the landfill. So let's take the numbers of 280, 290, 300, take that in half, we're still down, put it in perspective, 140, 150,000. I mean, it adds up, and there's other people that do this across the country rather than us. There's do-it-yourselfers at home, there's people in Idaho, there's people in Texas, but there's only so many bikes that's gonna get redone. So there's just a lot of bikes out there, to be honest with you.
As they buy the bikes and they've had it and they've been there, done that, relived their childhood, that's great. It never stops. The market just constantly moves. Because like the Model T, I have no interest in the Model T because I have no connection to it from my childhood. So the market for Model Ts is dwindling, same as 50s cars. It's dwindling away because my generation, your generation, I have no attachment to that. My dad didn't have, well, maybe he did, but I didn't have one.
Right. Yeah.
My dad wanted one. I don't necessarily want one. I want a 70s car.
Right.
So as time moves, so does the market. So what's the next hot item? Like Lucas, he has no other than working here, he has no attachment to the CT70s. Right, means nothing. None. But there is one that he'll look back and say, wow, that was my first bike. That's the one I want. And it won't look like this. It'll be some other 2000 Honda XR70. Right. But it'll be something because nostalgia is always there.
Yeah.
As long as people have disposable income to spend on it, they're gonna want something they had in their child. I have my 4th or my 5th bike going in the basement. Not that I had it as a kid, but these are the 4 I wanted as a kid.
Right.
I had no intention on ever doing anything with them other than I rode them around the neighborhood. Right. They're awesome. They're perfect. Okay, put them in the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
But you think as time, but just being realistic or being honest with what you're talking about, do you feel like, and I hear this a lot, but do you feel like there's 8 years, 10 years, 15 years of what I'm talking about, of the CT70 that will carry through?
There's probably
yeah.
There's probably 5 to 7 years on the mini trails and the Z's because there's still, our generation of guys are still in it.
Yeah.
But it's not that, I don't think the market will saturate. I think that the guys that had them already have them, they've already relived it, and it's on to the next guy. But the next guy is 5 to 7 years younger, and he wants the XR70. Like, you've already moved. I mean, I've seen you from when you were over at the other place. You said, we only do first year CT70s.
Right.
You've already changed that.
Right.
You've already
Yeah.
said, okay, we'll do other years. We'll do 72s. We'll do Zs. We'll do suspension Zs, SL70s, now MRs.
For right now, I think you're right. I think there's 5 to 8 years left in it.
I think
really
it'll
do.
morph into something else,
Something
and what that is
different.
right now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I know when I raced vintage motocross, Spencer, who you know,
Yeah.
he had an 82 CR125. I had an 82 CR250. Awesome bikes. He had no attachment to it, so
Right.
he didn't care about it other than it was fun to ride because it was different than
Right.
riding a modern bike. And I said, and he at the same time had a brand new, was probably 06
Yeah.
CR250 four-stroke. And I said, one day you'll restore that bike and put it in your house 40 years from now.
Yeah.
And right now you're like, who would ever do that?
Right.
But,
Yeah. It doesn't
but
mean
it'll
anything.
happen.
It'll happen.
So,
Yeah.
but are they as well made? Hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Like
I
cars.
just feel like the whole Honda line is well made.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
And there's other great bikes out there too, but I just feel like as a whole, the Honda line is I feel like, you know, kind of like old Junior Dreyer told me that day. He said, you know, Honda's whole philosophy was that once you start on a Honda, you'll stay on a Honda.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that sort of runs true.
They're
But
great.
yeah, very good question, Bill. And we talk about this. Isn't the only time that Keith and I have discussed this in here, and it comes up a lot.
My dad said nostalgia is a powerful drug, and it's true.
Yeah, exactly right.
Can't fight
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Keith and I work closely together almost twice a week, 3 times a week, and we just work well together and bounce ideas off each other, and so it works out good, you know. So
Do the XR70s because I want one of those. So, I know you'll find them, and I
Right.
can't find one yet.
right,
There was somebody that had inquired about
an MR50.
the MR50 and
Yeah.
said, I want Tracy's first one.
Yeah,
Well, guess what?
yeah.
I can't find in the feeds anywhere.
So whoever that was,
Whoever it
whoever said
was.
they wanted an MR, please get a hold of us.
Because we're getting close.
Little Mr. 50. So
Yep.
it'll
How many
be,
weeks out, you think?
I'd say another word, 8 weeks yet.
8 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All
yeah, trying to get it all put together now and seeing where we're at.
Okay.
And we definitely want them to be good and be right. And so it just takes a little time, you know. Well, guys, thank you everyone for joining. And there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot more to come. And I'll keep you posted on Mrs. Gestapo and how she fares out. She may, I'll be honest with you, she may start on Monday and I'll get her to quit on Wednesday.
Or she might get you to quit.
Well, she might be, but I'll get her to quit on Wednesday. Well, thank you everybody. Appreciate your time and appreciate all the questions and thank you for letting us be part of your world.